Before the mark, before the symbol, before the written word, humanity lived in a distinct world. For millennia, knowledge was a whisper, a story, a skill passed hand to hand. This was the era of pure oral tradition, memory woven into early human societies. Flickering firelight served as our first library, illuminating faces etched with wisdom. Elders were living encyclopedias, repositories of tribal histories, hunting routes, medicinal lore, and spiritual narratives. Their voices, rich with echoes of generations, were sole conduits of wisdom. Every gesture, inflection, and chanted rhythm held profound significance, vital for survival and cohesion. Yet this profound reliance on memory held inherent fragility. A single death could extinguish a priceless trove of knowledge, severing a lineage. Oral traditions, though vibrant, were susceptible to distortion, forgetting, or alteration. Ancestral pacts, ceremony steps, or hunting ground boundaries remained precariously balanced, reliant on the unbroken chain of human recall. Communication was immediate, intimate, and ephemeral. Spoken language shaped identity, binding communities through shared stories. But grand narratives, intricate genealogies, and critical practical knowledge remained perpetually tethered to the human mind, vulnerable to time and memory's limits. This ingenious system, a testament to human adaptability, yearned for permanence.
This ingenious system, a testament to human adaptability, yearned for permanence. Memory's vulnerability, the fleeting spoken word, these limitations spurred humanity's first tangible leaps. Our ancestors, driven to transcend time, communicated across generations, birthing the earliest scratches of thought. Deep within the earth, on rugged cave walls, vivid images appeared. More than decoration, these were profound documentation attempts. Magnificent bison, deer, intricate handprints, etched with pigments, recounted hunts, spiritual beliefs, and their world, enduring millennia. These ancient canvases served as public records, sacred shrines, instructional guides. Beyond these grand displays, a subtle, revolutionary form emerged, the tally mark. Incised on bone or carved in stone, simple lines represented quantities, cycles, and events. The Ishongo bone, over 20,000 years old, showcases intricate notational systems, hinting at lunar calendars. These marks, not linguistic writing, were crucial precursors, abstract symbols externalizing information. These initial scratches marked the dawn of information storage outside the mind. They tracked seasons, recorded game, conveyed knowledge, bridging the fleeting present with an uncertain future. This fundamental shift from transient sound to permanent symbol laid the bedrock for all future writing, marking the true genesis of recorded history and its profound power. Building upon these foundational attempts to store information externally, a transformative leap occurred in the Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia. There, amidst the marshlands and burgeoning cities of Sumer, complex societies demanded an equally complex system for record-keeping. The burgeoning city-states, with their intricate economies, Vast temple estates and burgeoning trade networks overwhelmed the capacity of human memory and simple tally marks. Around 3400 BCE, the Sumerians began to innovate, transitioning from simple pictographs, symbols representing objects, to a more sophisticated form. Initial efforts saw scribes drawing pictures on wet clay, but this was slow and cumbersome. The solution lay in abstraction and efficiency. Over centuries, these pictographs evolved, becoming stylized, losing their direct representational quality. The true breakthrough arrived with the development of cuneiform, meaning wedge-shaped. Scribes utilized a reed stylus to press distinct triangular marks into soft clay tablets. This method was faster, more uniform, and adaptable, allowing for the representation of not just objects, but also sounds and abstract ideas. It was the world's first true writing system, capable of conveying complex thought. Scribal schools, or eduba, became pivotal institutions. Young men, often from elite families, underwent rigorous training to master thousands of cuneiform signs. They learned to write administrative documents, legal codes, religious texts, and epic poems like the Epic of Gilgamesh. Literacy was a revered skill, granting immense power and influence. This mastery of cuneiform revolutionized Sumerian society. It enabled centralized administration, allowing rulers to manage vast territories, levy taxes, and codify laws like never before. Treaties were sealed, historical events recorded, and wisdom passed down with unprecedented fidelity. The durable clay tablets became the enduring archives of an empire, linking generations and cementing the legacy of civilizations. Writing, born from necessity, rapidly became the indispensable tool for the governance and perpetuation of power, laying the blueprint for future empires built on the bedrock of the written word. While Mesopotamia forged its destiny in clay, another civilization along the Nile simultaneously developed a writing system of breathtaking artistry and profound spiritual significance. Ancient Egypt, with its enduring pharaohs and monumental architecture, relied on a script as unique as its culture: hieroglyphs. Emerging around 3200 BCE, roughly contemporary with early cuneiform, hieroglyphs were considered the words of God, intrinsically linked to divine power and the fabric of the cosmos. Unlike the increasingly abstract cuneiform, hieroglyphs retained their pictorial essence, depicting animals, objects, and human forms with exquisite detail. Carved meticulously into the hard stone of temple walls, obelisks, and sarcophagi, their golden light often caught the dawn, imbuing inscriptions with an ethereal glow. These sacred symbols adorned grand religious edifices, narrating the deeds of pharaohs, propitiating deities, and ensuring safe passage for the deceased into the afterlife. Scribes, highly trained and revered, mastered this complex system, combining logographic, phonetic, and determinative elements. Beyond monumental inscriptions, hieroglyphs were also employed in more cursive forms, hieratic and demotic, for daily administration, literature, and record-keeping on papyrus scrolls. Tomb paintings, vibrant and detailed, often integrated hieroglyphic captions that brought scenes of daily life, agricultural abundance, and religious rituals to vivid life, providing instructions and blessings for the soul's journey. This ability to read and write hieroglyphs conferred immense prestige and power, centralizing control within the priestly and administrative classes. It allowed for the codification of religious beliefs, the preservation of historical records, and the efficient management of a vast empire. From grand narratives on temple pylons to intimate spells protecting a mummy, hieroglyphs were the arteries through which Egyptian civilization flowed, cementing their identity and allowing their stories to echo through millennia. While Egyptian hieroglyphs perfected a system of profound spiritual and administrative complexity, a new innovation was stirring that would dramatically simplify how humanity recorded its thoughts. From the bustling port cities along the eastern Mediterranean coast emerged the Phoenicians, master mariners and traders whose maritime networks connected distant civilizations. Their lifeblood was commerce, and the intricate scripts of their neighbors, cuneiform and hieroglyphs, proved cumbersome for the rapid exchange of goods and information essential to their ventures. What they needed was efficiency, a practical tool for ledgers, bills of sale, and communication across vast distances without years of scribal training. Building upon earlier Semitic writing systems, the Phoenicians developed a truly revolutionary script around 1200 BCE. This alphabet was a profound departure, purely phonetic, consisting of just 22 consonantal symbols. Each symbol represented a single sound rather than an entire word or concept, dramatically reducing characters. This elegant simplicity was its genius. No longer confined to elite scribal classes, writing became accessible to a broader segment of society, a tool for merchants, sailors, and administrators. As their sleek bireme ships plied the Mediterranean, laden with cedar, dyes, and silver, the Phoenicians carried more than goods. They disseminated their groundbreaking script. It spread westward to the emerging Greek city-states, who recognized its utility and adapted it, crucially adding symbols for vowels, creating the world's first true alphabet in the modern sense. From Greece, it flowed to Rome, laying the foundation for the Latin alphabet, ancestor of countless writing systems globally. This simplification was not merely convenience, it was a cognitive breakthrough, democratizing knowledge and forging a common linguistic bridge that profoundly shaped subsequent civilizations, from philosophy to law. The alphabet was humanity's ultimate portable technology. Building upon the Phoenician innovation, the Greeks embraced and significantly refined the phonetic alphabet, crucially adding symbols for vowels. This monumental adaptation transformed writing from a purely consonantal system into a far more flexible and expressive tool, capable of capturing the nuanced sounds of the spoken word. With this refined alphabet, an explosion of intellectual and artistic expression became possible. From the lyrical poetry of Sappho to the foundational philosophical treatises of Plato and Aristotle, Greek thought, once largely preserved through oral tradition, was now meticulously recorded and disseminated. This facilitated the rise of democratic discourse in city-states like Athens, where public decrees, laws, and philosophical arguments could be widely read and debated. As Greek influence spread, so too did its alphabet. When the ascendant Roman Republic encountered the Hellenic world, they recognized the immense power of this adaptable writing system. Modifying the Greek alphabet to suit their own Latin tongue, the Romans forged the script we largely use today. This Latin alphabet became the backbone of their vast and enduring empire. It was instrumental in codifying Roman law, crafting comprehensive administrative documents, and issuing imperial decrees that governed millions across continents. In bustling Roman libraries, thousands of scrolls preserved legal precedents, historical accounts, and engineering marvels. In the vibrant Roman Forum, skilled scribes meticulously recorded speeches, transactions, and public notices, ensuring the smooth functioning of their complex society. The alphabet, once a simping merchant's tool, became the very sinew of Roman power, enabling unprecedented organizational scale and the enduring legacy of Western civilization. While the Western world embraced and refined the phonetic alphabet, a profoundly different path was taken in East Asia, one that prioritized meaning over sound. In ancient China, a unique and enduring writing system blossomed, evolving independently to become arguably the oldest continuously used script in the world. Unlike the Greek and Roman alphabets, which broke down spoken words into fundamental phonetic units, Chinese characters developed as logograms, where each character represents a word or an idea. This distinct approach fostered an extraordinary depth of visual and semantic complexity. The mastery of these intricate characters demanded not just linguistic understanding, but also a profound artistic sensibility. Calligraphy, far from being a mere craft, became one of the highest art forms, revered for its aesthetic beauty and philosophical expression. Skilled artists, often scholars themselves, would meticulously grind ink, carefully select brushes, and, with practiced grace, bring characters to life on silk or paper. Each stroke, its thickness, its angle, its flow, conveyed not only meaning, but also the calligrapher's inner spirit and discipline. This system, born from early pictograms and ideograms, grew to encompass tens of thousands of characters, each a small world of meaning. It allowed for the creation of vast literary, philosophical, and historical works that underpinned successive dynasties. Its visual nature also meant that literate individuals across different spoken dialects of Chinese could communicate through the written word, fostering a powerful cultural unity. Furthermore, this system exerted immense influence across the region, being adopted and adapted by cultures such as Korea, Japan, and Vietnam for centuries, profoundly shaping their own intellectual and artistic traditions. The East Asian writing systems, with their endless characters, stand as a testament to an alternative, equally powerful vision of how humanity could encode and transmit knowledge across time and space. While the East Asian systems demonstrated an artistic and unifying power, across the globe, the foundational purpose of writing often transcended culture and art to become an undeniable instrument of authority and control. From its very inception, writing was harnessed not just for recording stories or knowledge, but for the intricate machinery of governance. Empires, both ancient and burgeoning, quickly realized that the written word was indispensable for managing vast territories and diverse populations. Scribes, the literate elite, became the silent architects of power. In Mesopotamia, they meticulously pressed cuneiform onto clay tablets, tracking harvests, documenting land ownership, and assessing taxes, the very sinews of an economy. Pharaohs in Egypt commissioned hieroglyphs not only to immortalize their divine rule on temple walls, but also to record census data, administrative decrees, and military campaigns on papyrus. As societies grew in complexity, so did the applications of writing as a tool of statecraft. Legal codes, like the Code of Hammurabi, were etched in stone, literally inscribing the law and social order for all to see or fear. Diplomatic correspondence, treaties between rival states, and records of alliances solidified political landscapes. Moreover, writing played a paramount role in the establishment and dissemination of religious dogma. Sacred texts codified beliefs, rituals, and moral injunctions, providing a powerful, immutable framework for social cohesion and spiritual control, often enforced by the very scribal classes who interpreted them. Thus, from ancient Sumer to imperial Rome and beyond, writing transitioned from a mere innovation to an existential necessity for any entity seeking to centralize power, standardize administration, and exert pervasive social influence. It allowed rulers to project their will across distances, manage resources, and cement their legacy, making it an ultimate tool of control that shaped the very fabric of human civilization. The power of the written word, while enabling empires and spreading knowledge, also harbored a darker, more insidious potential: the power to suppress, to silence, and to rewrite history. For every scribe meticulously cataloging laws, others erased inconvenient truths or crafted narratives serving the powerful. This is the often overlooked history of how writing became a tool not just for creation, but for profound control over collective memory itself. Throughout history, countless narratives were deliberately suppressed or destroyed. Conquerors often obliterated the literary heritage of the vanquished, viewing it as a threat. Libraries, repositories of millennia of thought, were sometimes razed, their scrolls and tablets reduced to ash, tragically exemplified by losses at Alexandria. Colonial powers systematically suppressed indigenous languages and oral traditions, imposing new scripts to cement dominance. Censorship became an art of statecraft. Official decrees dictated what could and could not be read. Religious institutions, monarchies, and totalitarian regimes understood that controlling information was paramount. Texts deemed heretical or subversive were publicly burned, their authors often facing dire consequences. Even the printing press, while democratizing knowledge, amplified censorship's reach and impact. Conversely, writing actively rewrote history. Victorious factions commissioned new accounts, demonizing enemies and glorifying their own actions, shaping future generations' understanding. Marginalized voices, women, the enslaved, dissenting groups often found their experiences omitted or distorted in official records, forcing them to preserve their stories in secret through clandestine oral traditions or coded writings. Thus, writing imbued words with an authority capable of both illuminating and obscuring. Its history is not merely a chronicle of what was preserved, but a poignant testament to what was deliberately forgotten, altered, or silenced, leaving lasting imprints on our collective memory and a stark reminder of its enduring, dual-edged power.
The previous section highlighted writing's dual power to illuminate and obscure, to preserve and suppress. Before Gutenberg, the written word was an elite commodity, a treasure painstakingly crafted, demanding immense labor. Creating a single manuscript was an arduous, months-long endeavor. Scribes meticulously prepared costly parchment from animal skins. Each letter was then painstakingly hand-copied, often in dimly lit monastic scriptoriums, consuming countless hours. Illuminators added intricate designs and vibrant colors, transforming texts into singular works of art. The binding of these heavy, often jewel-encrusted tomes further ensured their rarity and immense value, restricting access to a select few, scholars, clergy, and the wealthy elite. This scarcity amplified their authority, but also their vulnerability to control and deliberate destruction, shaping public narratives. Then a seismic shift occurred. In 15th century Mainz, Johannes Gutenberg's revolutionary invention shattered this paradigm. His movable type printing press, a marvel of ingenious engineering, promised to democratize knowledge on an unprecedented scale. Imagine the rhythmic clunking of the press, the distinctive thud as thousands of precisely cast metal types met paper, churning out identical pages with astonishing speed. Imagine the rhythmic clunking of the press, the distinctive thud as thousands of precisely cast metal types met paper, churning out identical pages with astonishing speed. For the first time, texts could be mass-produced, rapidly and affordably, breaking the monopoly on information. Books began to proliferate, carrying new ideas, scientific discoveries, and philosophical treatises across continents. This mechanical innovation ignited a revolution far beyond the workshop. It undermined traditional authorities, fueled the Renaissance and the Reformation, and laid the foundation for widespread modern literacy. The printing press wasn't just a machine, it was the unstoppable engine of an intellectual explosion, irrevocably transforming human society by making knowledge accessible to the masses, forever altering the landscape of power and independent thought. The printing press revolutionized access to knowledge, but it was merely a prelude to an even more profound transformation. Just a few centuries later, the very nature of writing began another seismic shift, moving beyond ink and paper into an ethereal realm of light and code. The advent of electricity and then computing introduced entirely new canvases for the written word. From punch cards and cathode ray tubes, writing evolved into glowing pixels on screens. The Internet, a global nervous system, connected minds and machines, making information instantaneously accessible across continents. Email replaced letters, instant messaging superseded phone calls, and social media platforms became vast, dynamic forums for discourse, dissent, and connection. Our fingers now dance across keyboards and touchscreens, composing messages, documents, and code at speeds unimaginable to ancient scribes or even Gutenberg himself. The strictures of formal prose sometimes give way to the brevity of texts, the visual language of emojis, or the structured logic
of programming languages. The strictures of formal prose sometimes give way to the brevity of texts, the visual language of emojis, or the structured logic of programming languages. Billions of words are now generated, shared, and consumed daily, dwarfing all previous eras. This digital echo reverberates globally, shaping economies, politics, and personal relationships. It is a constant, ever-present stream of information, simultaneously empowering and overwhelming. Writing, in its latest metamorphosis, is no longer bound by physical constraints. It is fluid, interactive, and often collaborative, continuously rewriting the narrative of human interaction. We are living through a period where the fundamental act of recording thought is more pervasive and instantaneous than ever before, fundamentally altering our perception of knowledge, communication, and ourselves. This boundless digital frontier challenges us to navigate an ocean of information, to discern truth, and to continue shaping our shared story in an age where every keystroke leaves an indelible mark on the digital tapestry of human civilization. The digital age, with its boundless information, marks the latest chapter in an ancient, ongoing narrative, how writing itself crafts our understanding of reality. From first cuneiform tablets documenting laws, to philosophical treatises and sacred texts, writing has been the primary architect of human thought and societal structure. It is the vessel through which knowledge transcends generations, allowing us to learn from the past and build upon ancestors' foundations. Consider epic poems shaping Greek identity, or Rome's legal codes forging an empire. Scientific papers unlock universe secrets. Manifestos ignite revolutions. Each pen stroke, pressed wedge, brushed character, or line of code has not merely recorded history, it has actively made history. Writing externalizes consciousness, sharing dreams, fears, innovations. It has been the engine of education, bedrock of governance, canvas for art, and our collective memory's fabric. It permits complex societies, abstract reasoning, and imagining futures beyond immediate grasp. As we navigate this new digital frontier, where words proliferate unprecedentedly, writing's power remains paramount. It demands not just literacy, but critical engagement. We are active participants in this grand narrative. What stories will we write? What realities will we construct? The future, like the past, will be shaped by indelible marks we leave, word by word, in humanity's vast tapestry. This is a profound responsibility, an endless opportunity, crafting the reality we wish to inhabit.